Hello, everybody. Welcome to the World 101 podcast. I'm your host, Eddie V. I got with me my big man right here, Mr. Larry Giver.
What up? I'm going to rage quit this because apparently if I stop playing games for more than a week, I get terrible at them.
Oh, I know what you mean. I finished Gears of War 1 yesterday. And boy, that game is so problematic. I swear.
Let's say, how's that aged for you?
Not good. I was just like, excuse me. I was playing it and I was just like, okay, this is a okay shooter, but it's not a perfect 10. I'm like, the AI that they give you barely does anything. And Cliff Bleszinski, everybody at Epic, thought it was a good idea to give you 4 characters, but continue to split it into 2. Why? That doesn't make no sense. And I'm just oh, go ahead.
I say, some games age like fine wine and others age like milk.
Well, this is my first time playing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing the.
So you don't even have the nostalgia to fall back on to make it a little okay.
Well, I was playing the Ultimate Edition. That's the one that I was playing, and I mean, it looks good in HD, but I was just like, this is okay, but it's so redundant. Just like, oh my goodness, this is the same thing over and over. And I understand that, okay, and for the big disclosure, I did play it on casual. I didn't play it on a harder mode because I just kind of wanted to see what the game was going to be about. Like, just going it for the story and some of the gameplay ideas. But I was just like, this is boring. This game have these ragdoll physics. The AI barely works because most of the firefights that you're going to be playing is going to be basically you. And then when you get done doing the fight, he'll serve Dom, who's normally with you throughout the whole game, he'll just show up and appear. It's just like, really...
some games you can pretty up in HD, but HD graphics don't change terrible fucking gameplay.
Exactly.
So,
and I don't want to slam Gears or anything like that, but I was just like, this is not a perfect 10. And I could probably, and people say, well, you didn't do the multiplayer. Even if I didn't do the multiplayer, it's boring. Like it just
I shouldn't
really
have to do multiplayer to grade a game correctly.
Right. And it was just like, okay, I'm like, are you fighting in the streets, or is most of this game going to be taking place in a house or a theater? Like, they kept taking place like in some kind of castle, like in some kind of room. Like it did, like the fight didn't take outside that much.
Oh well.
So I mean, it's an okay game, and since I'm going to actually rate this game, I'm going to give it 3 Yoshi coins. So anyone doesn't know Super Mario World, since we are World 1-1, you collect Yoshi coins, and 5 coins get you a 1-up in the level. So on this podcast, if we gotta rate something, let's rate it with Yoshi coins. So I give Gears of War 1 3 Yoshi coins. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. It's not like, oh my goodness, this is the best.
Nope, I'm sticking with my rating system. I'm going to rate it at about a $5 mark. If I see it in a $5 bin, I'll pick it up, and I won't feel like I spent too much on it.
Well, it's $5. Well, we have our own rating. That's how we do on World 1-1.
Consistency, damn it.
If you listen to the our review episode
last week,
last week, did you know how we rate games? We'll each probably have our own. So since you did $5, $5/3 Yoshi coins. So we're going to get into Indie Watch, and quick Indie Watch. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is coming to PlayStation 4, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about it. It's a really Metroid style game, really good. developed and published by Ray Ford. I have the game on Wii U, and I'm almost done with it. I just got to go back and beat it. But it's a terrific game. Not really a long of a game, like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know how much they're charging on it, but I definitely, for like Wii U and 3DS, I think it's like $10. Or even like PC, you might be able to find it like on a sale. So it's a recommendation for me. I do advise you guys to pick it up. Not very challenging, just a really good old school platforming game done in a Metroid style, I think. And if you played the Shantae games, you would know the great quality and the great gameplay that game has. So that's Indie Watch, like really quick, because we have kind of a topic / news segment called Look at This Nonsense. And yesterday, I was on Yahoo, and they posted
you wanted to call Look at This Nonsense. I voted it should still be called Fuck This Shit right here.
Well, Look at This Nonsense is the PG version for the kids. So I was on Yahoo, and there was a story from the Washington Post, and it was titled, and get ready for this one, what happens to boys who kill women in video games? And what they did was they gave some high school kids, Italian high school kids, 3 games to play Grand Theft Auto, to play Half-Life, and then gave them like a pinball or a puzzle game. And the study was published in the journal PLOS One, PLOS One. And it says a team of social scientists asked a group of Italian high school students to play one of 3 kinds of games. One that rewarded violence against women, Grand Theft Auto. One that promoted violence without degrading women, a portion of the Half-Life series. Or one that featured good, clean fun, a pinball or puzzle sequence. After the participants played their game for about 25 minutes, they answered questions about how they felt about an on-screen character. Did they identify with the mobster in Grand Theft Auto? Did they connect with the alien battling scientist in Half-Life? They didn't mention nothing about the pinball puzzle game, so I'm assuming that none of them took it. The researchers then showed each student a photo of a bruised girl who they said had been beaten by a boy. They asked, on a scale of 1 to 7, how much sympathy do you have for her? The male students who had just played Grand Theft Auto and also related to the protagonist felt least bad for her, the study found, with an empathy mean score of 3. Those who had played the other games, however, exhibited more compassion, and female students who played the same rounds of Grand Theft Auto had a mean empathy score of 5.3. The researchers' conclusion: sexist games may shrink boys' empathy for female victims. So we're going to stop right there. I'm going to ask you, Larry, what are your thoughts about this?
Oh, we've got a laundry list of problems right here. First off, the size of this study was retarded. This is, a study done on, what did it say, like 200 people?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous in its own right. Don't sit here and give me one study of, that minimal of a pool of like 200 people and tell me that your shit matters and I should care what it said. That's retarded. Second of all, let's talk about our selection here. We were just discussing earlier, okay, here's Grand Theft Auto, which we're still using again and again and again. And I get it. It's a benchmark. This was a social hot button and you've latched on, and none of you people have bothered to look at anything that's happened in video games in the last 10 years. So GTA is your go-to scapegoat for Ermagerd, violence and women and sex.
And then and the women are the one that's buying the game for the people.
Yeah. But that aside, let's compare and contrast our selection here, because clearly these are 3 very, comparable things in order to, determine what the effects of violence are. We've got, GTA to show gender-specific violence. Here's a segment of game. I want you to kill only women. That's probably not going to work in any section of that game ever, but there you have it. Here's Half-Life. Go kill some aliens. Here's Peggle. How about a unicorn that shoots rainbows out of its ass?
And what does playing Pego or some kind of pinball game have to do with them being shown of an abused girl or a picture being beat up?
This is retarded. But that being said, let's get into the empathy issue. At this point, again, with that small of a testing pool, your variation in empathy could just be variation in personality, and your game choices had nothing to do with it. Not only that, but on top of that, what you should have been doing, to get a baseline, comparison is let these people try all three over the course of, do this one first this day, and then a week later come back, and then we'll repeat the same task with a different game, and see what the results. But it's a fucking mess. The other problem that I have in all this is that at this point, you can buy any fucking test, or you can write or conduct any poll like this to make your results say whatever the hell you want them to say. It's all dependent upon who you pull for this thing in the first place. So I put no stock in it. It's ridiculous. I don't care. Well, as far as empathy for women goes, at this point, you know what? Video games have nothing to do with it.
Well, this is the really weird part, is that why did you make the conclusion that it was boys, even though you let girls also play the game? You didn't say, you didn't say the researcher's conclusion, sexist games may shrink gamers' empathy for female victims. You said, they just automatically say, well, because it's it's been boys playing it, or they chose Grand Theft Auto, we're going to already make the conclusion. You didn't make no kind of conclusion about Half-Life. You didn't even make a conclusion about the puzzle or pinball game. So why even do a study like this? If you were just going to say, can Grand Theft Auto be a degrading game to women? Why not just say,
sure,
why not
it
just
can,
say that?
But you get what you put into that.
But this is the complete problem. What if I did the same study and I took a whole bunch of women and gave them Saints Row 3, had them create a female character, let her get all the guns that she needs, and then run around and just kill men? Like, beat and kill men, throw them off, use them as, like, shields. Like, what would that be the same conclusion, that it shrinks empathy for a male that's got to beat it or anything? And then to give them a cleansing palette, have them play Animal Crossing. Like would the results be the same? Pretty much no.
This is stupid. You know what? I'm going to write my own study. It's going to say that, women that play Cooking Mama are holding back women are keeping women from voting. There. That's my study. I'm going to go find some people that support my fucking conclusion. I'll be back in an hour.
Cooking Mama still makes people just do microwave ovens. Like really? Like, why are researchers and even politicians or just anybody still using Grand Theft Auto for their subject matter? Because
they're still using video games. We haven't moved on to the next scapegoat yet.
What, VR?
I don't even know if that'll get its own scapegoatism at this point. It's going to get rolled in with video games. I'm calling it right now. VR, anything is just going to get rolled in with fucking video games. It's not its own thing. It won't get scapegoated, like most new mediums do. So
which is going to be very weird, because I'm just like, well, phones have VR first before video games actually came into play, like PlayStation VR. So I'm just like, so you just deny all the phones and stuff, and there's been news all about this that you could read and research with, but you just wait till something comes on like PlayStation VR or something, or a video game console. Then you want to do a study and make a big deal about it?
I don't know. It's like I said, I've got issues up one way and down the other with this whole thing, and I could spend way too long on a tirade about this subject, but if I do, we'll never fucking end this show. So,
well, it's kind of weird that they call it a sexist game because it's not a game full of all women. Grand Theft Auto, it has adult males in it, and just because the main protagonist is a male character doesn't mean that you have to. It's not forced upon you to do anything to the women in the game. If you actually do the missions in Grand Theft Auto, most of them are male. Are you shooting at other men? Like you barely shoot at any women.
Oh yeah.
If you really, go ahead.
Like I said, there's way too many issues with this. At this point, how does the study change if, let's say, Grand Theft Auto had a female protagonist instead? Then is it sexist? I hate to to raise this, but this is just as ridiculous as like any. And I'm sure I'm going to piss off a few people for saying this, but the hate crime issue is it's you're dealing with the same thing essentially, because it's like, okay, one person of one color killed somebody of another color, automatically qualified as a hate crime. One person of one color kills one person of the same color. It's not. I'm sorry, was that not the same crime?
Right.
Wait a fucking minute. Man kills a man and it's murder. Man kills a woman and it's murder, and you're a sexist asshole. No, it's still just murder, just of a different gender, you moron.
Like, even if you even throw kids into it, it's still murder.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. So, what? Did those people play Grand Theft Auto? Even though they don't got no kind of video game console in their whole home?
I don't know. It's a mess.
Which I have to ask. This is a side question that I have to ask you. The company that made the gun that the person did the killings for the Sandy Hook shooting, I think.
Oh, this, yes.
Did you?
Oh God, I've been listening to this over the last few days on the radio.
Did you read it or? Give it a little bit some context about it, because I just seen the title and I'm just like, wait, huh? That doesn't make sense.
I'm still trying to make sense of how they're trying to pull this lawsuit off in the first place, just to get a judge to fucking hear it, because there's already a stipulation in place saying that gun manufacturers can't be sued as a responsible party in a homicide or a murder just because they manufactured and or sold the gun. And at this point, the lawyer behind this is trying to pull some weird legal bullshit where, and I don't know all the details, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly how he's finagling this. But I heard about it a couple days ago, off and on the radio, and basically, from what I heard, the way he's trying to phrase it to get it even to be heard in court by a judge still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But so far, it's finagled him far enough that he's got somebody at least looking at it. So, but that aside, that's a whole different kind of fucking mess. That'll get me on political viewpoints for days.
But you cannot sue a gun manufacturer who originally sold the gun to the mother. It was the mother's gun.
And here's the other question. Did the mom buy it directly from the manufacturer, or did she buy it from a retailer? And at that point, then you can't sue the manufacturer because the manufacturer didn't fucking sell it to her. The retailer did.
She probably bought it from the retailer, because the retailer would have to have some kind of background check with that retailer. She would have to have that information on it.
Yeah. But in any case, back to the point at hand, this study is fucking dumb.
I just find it so weird. I read this and there's a different viewpoint for some people. Be like, well, you guys are gamers, so of course you're going to think it's ridiculous. But me, as a person who don't play games, this might be information that I need. But the problem with this information is that it's not factual. You cannot come up with a conclusion about saying that it's going to make boys shrink, empathy shrink, after they just got done playing Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto has been, and even in the report it says the last one came out in 2013. This is 3 years. That was 3 years ago. If you talk to people who play Grand Theft Auto, there are some people who do those kind of acts. Okay, that's fine. It's open world. But most of the people actually, they put in the code, do all the crimes, try to get away from the police, or trying to just find out the Easter eggs and the hidden stuff. People do different things, and it's up to the player. I could play Grand Theft Auto 5 and look at the same picture and just be like, oh, she got beat up. I'm like, oh, my heart goes out to her. I'm like, I hope she's doing okay. It's because of the personal emotion that I feel. A video game is not going to change my emotion. Actually, and when you show me a picture, that doesn't make no sense.
There's... the other thing too that just occurs to me is fucking context plays a lot into this too.
Oh yeah.
How much buildup was there for me to actually care about the whatever hooker that I just killed versus sexism aside. I'm going to change this just a little bit to make the metaphor work, but let's go back to Shadow of the Colossus. Instead, granted, there's not a lot of buildup, but you're looking at something and going, "There's this beautiful, majestic creature," and again, I have no context for killing it, but they at least give you some sort of sympathetic context, just in terms of the cinematography. They managed to convey that yes, you should feel bad for killing this thing or this person. GTA doesn't do that. Again, frame it, put some context on it. Right. Am I killing somebody that I'm supposed to care about, or am I killing somebody because the developer put it here as cannon fodder for me to kill? There's a difference there.
This is the weird thing. Does it make you an abusive man if you play Final Fight or Double Dragon and you beating up like Poison or Linda? Even though they're trying to attack you with a whip and with knives and kick you with their high heels, like beat 'em up games that have women in them, that are trying to kill you. They have they're programmed to have the same thing as all the other enemies in the game, and that's to make you lose your life and make you get a game over. That's the purpose of it. You must defend yourself so that you don't get a game over. You put 25, 50 cents, or you bought a game, and you gotta beat them up just like everybody else. They were programmed to do that. It's a video game. It doesn't mean do it
Oh no, you make plenty of sense here. Here's the other thing that I'm sure would have just come up if we had gone the other direction with this. Okay, we've got let's say that we take all the women in Grand Theft Auto, and there's no women in it. Period. It's an all male cast. You're only killing men, and it's just men killing men. Then we're going to get claims of sexism because, females aren't represented. So, okay, we'll put females in, and you can have females to kill, and you can have females do the killing, and then it's a fucking sexist issue again because you're killing women. Make up your fucking mind. You're never going to win. Somebody always wants something to fucking cry about. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I said it, but there it is.
It just feels weird. I'm like, Grand Theft Auto is not a sexist game. It doesn't make you feel sexist because of you killing women. You're killing most of the men in the whole game. That's most of the missions. Anything that you do to a woman in the Grand Theft Auto game is all optional. Optional versus story progression are two separate things. You can kill all the women in Grand Theft Auto all you want to, but you're not going to progress in the story. Secondly, you have to worry about the star rating and worry about the cops coming to get you and kill you. Grand Theft Auto has a consequence, has a rewards and consequence system to it. And and all these researchers who do it, they never focus on that. Even politicians, they never focus on that. I'm like, there's so many factors in Grand Theft Auto. It's not the violence. The violence is cartoonish.
Oh yeah. Well, and not only that too, but let's look at some of the context for the characters. Let's go back a number of years further, back to GTA with the main character Nico. Here's a character that honestly feels like remorseful. Here's a guy that doesn't even want to be involved in half the shit that he's involved in. You've got somebody that wanted out of that life and was thrown back in it. There's a sympathetic character. Yeah, sure. There's some player context to it there, but the story that they framed him with doesn't make him, an inherently sexist character.
Right.
So, yeah, the biggest problem that we have here is that this fucking study is a relic of a bygone era of, like, video game ridiculousness. We moved past this and somebody decided to dig up some old research paper and go, I want to do my version of this. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I have exactly no scientific foundation for that basis or theory, but I'm making it anyway, and I'm saying that it's scientifically correct because I'm that asshole.
Well, this is my thing about this. Why haven't they did a scientific research study about adults doing crazier crimes than video games? Let's look at Leland Yee. That mug got in with the Chinese mafia, and he's been trying to protest Grand Theft Auto and rated games. But he did something in real life that was worse than any mission in Grand Theft Auto, and he was a senator.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Or another interesting thing that we could have gone on is are the women that worked on Grand Theft Auto sexist people for having worked on and helped make this game. Oh. Do they have some sort of same gender hatred that they want to make a game where you're going around killing women? Do that study for me. Somebody get on that quick.
Well, they can't do that study because they're getting paid to make that game, and they got to pay the bills because you don't do a job that you don't love. Some people could disagree. Some people, you can all email us later. We'll give out the email later. But if you didn't,
no, those emails can go directly to Eddie V. I had nothing to do with that. You can all bitch about your jobs to him for a week.
Send it at chocolathethunder@gmail.com.
Please tell me you changed your email address to Chocolate Thunder again. That needs to become the permanent thing.
Everybody gonna be like, Chocolate Thunder? Are you a shit? Eddie, can we talk? Be like, no, it's an inside thing. But the women helping develop Grand Theft Auto, they know that they love games. They know the content that they're going to create. They're getting paid to create their content. So regardless of their sexist or not, they're the ones that's getting paid. These researchers are not paying them. No one is coming to any. This is my thing. There's no one coming to any video game developer's rescue, offering them more money to take them out of the video game industry, so they don't make those games.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a problem,
well, and on top of that too, nobody's coming to the industry's rescue and saying that we don't want those games either. Clearly, there's enough of a market in the industry that people want those games, so they're going to keep supplying a fucking demand.
Right.
So
and it's not going to, you're not going to be able to stop M-rated game sales, because guess what? If the parents don't know about parental controls or anything like that, or they're fine with buying the game, guess what? Mom, can you buy me a $60 or can you buy me a $50 PlayStation card, Xbox Live card, a Wii U card. I'm like, okay, sure. That's all I want is video game cards. I'm not worried about money. And then to go to my system, and since I know how to hook my system up to the internet, download the game to my system. You can't be mad. I got the cards. I was able to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I got the game and I'm able to play it and stuff, now depending on how punishments works in the household, and depending on how the customers who buy these games for their kids or anything like that, even for these Italian boys, they probably played Grand Theft Auto before. Like, and they don't even give no age. They don't even tell the ages that they chose these boys or these students, I should say, from. Like, they didn't say these students are from 14, 15 till 17, 18 years old. Like, there wasn't no 3 to 4 year difference. They just said high school students. In Italian at that.
Yeah. No, it's a mess. It was poorly conceived. It was poorly written, poorly reviewed. It's a fucking mess.
And the Washington Post should have known better to report on this. But we wouldn't have this discussion if it wasn't for them, so.
I know. You hear that, Washington Post? Fuck you. You just spent the last half hour of my life on something blatantly retarded.
Like I said, just look at this nonsense. And you could check Yahoo. The title of the story is What Happens to Boys Who Kill Women in Video Games. And you could read it, comment. I just think it's the most craziest thing. Like, literally crazy. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, why are we still using Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
So,
anyways, I vote we put the kibosh on this one, because if I keep talking about this, I'm going to get angrier and angrier, and I think my head's going to fucking explode.
Oh, no. Well, you might get angry at Cliff Bleszinski. Today, as of this recording, he said something about a game called Firewatch for PlayStation 4 and PC. And he called the game is too hipster, so he's not going to finish it. Sorry. Though he likes the guys at the developers. Or no, he don't like. He respects the people who made Firewatch, but he's not going to finish the game. And he got a lot of feedback from a lot of people. Some being sarcastic, and some people are just like being rude, like disrespectful. Some people are unfollowing him, and it's kind of weird. Like, when a developer makes a opinion statement about another video game, whether they like it or not, does it give them the right to say it, and does it give us the right to react that way?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, they have a right to their opinion. That's fine. Everybody, everyone's got a fucking opinion. Everyone's got a fucking right to it. That's all well and good. In addition to that, reactionary wise, everyone, if you put your opinion out there, everyone is therefore then entitled to have a reaction to your opinion because you made it public. So, you know what? At this point, could he have possibly phrased that a little more pleasantly? Sure. But you know what? So he didn't like somebody else's game. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Plenty of people didn't like his. Meh. I didn't care about his game. I thought it was fucking retarded. But that's just me. That's why I rated it $5.
$5. $5 make you holler? Well, it'll make you holler, boo, this game is garbage.
No. $5 make me feel like I finally wasn't ripped off for buying his game. But, that's my opinion. Oh, that thing that we all have. So,
right.
But in any case, he's got an opinion. He didn't care for somebody else's game. What-de-do? I'm sorry, just because you work in the video game industry doesn't mean you have to praise everybody else's game. It probably helps your case a little bit if you're not an asshole about it. But you don't have to like everybody else's game. Not everybody's, not every game is going to be your cup of tea. And, your game is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. What do you do?
Well, I think people were just like, why would you call a game hipster? Because it's about campfire, camping, like he's not all the two walking simulators. Like, I guess because he's so known for Gears of War and action games like that, like shooting, like gun games and stuff, that's more of his speed than something that's quiet, something that's story driven. Like, that's not his thing. But to me is this is my thing. Has always been with Cliff Bleszinski. I respect him as a developer. I have no problem with them. I think he's more one note than he is a big celebrity that people made him out to be, or made his ego out to be. I think he's just like really one note, and he only can make one style of a genre in the game. I don't think he is that creative to make anything else out the box. Like, I don't think he can make a walking simulator, something like Firewatch or Gone Home or anything like that. I think his philosophy is, you got to get them in the first 15 seconds. You got to hook them up with the action. Once you got them hooked, then you could build the game around that. And I don't really think that. I think if you look at Shigeru Miyamoto, he's tried different genres. He's made really different games that we love and respect them, because you see the care and the creativity that's in that game. Because Epic is known for arena shooters or just shooters in general, they can't create anything else. And like, even if you look at Lawbreakers, which is Cliff Bleszinski's new game that he's working on, it's another shooter. And it's going to probably get some. It's probably going to get some various feedback, depending on when it actually comes to public and people play it. It might get good scores. It might get average scores. People might use what he said about Firewatch against him. But I think personally for me, like Cliff Bleszinski, I think if he was going to be developer that we could just like really talk about and discuss, I think he has to stop being a one note developer and actually like try to create something weird. Like, if you want to be in a shooting arena, you have every right to do that. But let's see if you do a Contra style game. Let's see if you can make a role playing game. Let's see if you could like really get outside the box and do something instead of what makes you for who you are as a one note character. I mean, not character, but a one note developer.
And here's how I look at it. He may actually be onto something, or at least partially. He may be a one note developer, and that's okay, because the thing is the note that he plays, there's a lot of people that like to fucking listen to it, and that's fine and well and good. Do they not deserve to have games that they like where you can pick it up and here's action and go and kill shit in the first 15 seconds? Hell, I like that kind of thing once in a while. Is it my default kind of game? No, but every once in a while, all I want to do is pick up a game, fucking shoot something for 20 minutes and put it back down again. That's okay. Those games have a time, a place, and a market share.
I agree.
And so, if he wasn't making it, somebody else would be, so nothing against the man for making his fortune on it. He saw a market and he catered to it, and that was all right. I don't have an issue with it. I think frankly, this has been blown up to be a bigger fucking story than it actually is. That's just me personally. As far as I know, you said, Epic Games doesn't make anything but arena shooters. But I was just fact-checking myself here because I'm like, now wait a damn second. Epic Games was also responsible for Shadow Complex, which was one of the best fucking Metroidvania games that came around on the during the 360 era. Mm-hmm. But and I adore that game dearly. But in any case, like you said, not every game is for everyone, and that's fine. Could he have maybe been a little more pleasant about the way he said it? Yeah, probably. But, this Cliff, he's got a big mouth. It's what he does. And I don't expect him to change that anytime in the near future.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree with you. I just wish, and maybe this is just me, I just really wish that, developers who make comments about other games, you have every right to voice your opinion, but at least be someone who has like different titles and different genres under your belt. Like, you could say so much about Shigeru Miyamoto all you want to. You can even say a whole bunch of stuff about Hideo Kojima. But I'm like, those two developers, they have tried to make other games in different genres. I'm like, Hideo Kojima made Snatcher, which is a point-and-click adventure before he got into the Metal Gear Solid franchise. You could...
No, more importantly, Kojima Games made Boktai. Because Boktai was fucking awesome.
I love Boktai. It's so good. Very creative.
Get some sun, damn it. Here, take your Game Boy, too.
Very creative game. I used to draw some of his artwork and the EGM ads and stuff. I love Boktai. The second one was good, too. The second one wasn't too bad. But, like, those developers got something underneath their belt. And I believe, sometimes they be like, well, we can't make those games because that's not our philosophy. But you could see some of those ideas in different games that they make because they try different genres. Miyamoto may be known for Mario, but look at him. He helped create The Legend of Zelda. Like, he overlooked different projects and give the A-OK and just be like, if you have an idea and you think about it this way, let's be a little bit more creative. Like, make it very unexpected. Cliff Bleszinski, what can we expect from him? It's a shooter and this cover base. Two things that he's known for. And we have nothing else to really say much about him, probably besides his ego and saying the things that he say. Like, and that's probably like four things. Just like, what else can we say about him that's going to make us really have a good discussion compared to where Miyamoto and Hideo Kojima, and definitely Hideo Kojima, like with the Metal Gear Solid, he's known for that, but he has always tried to do something different. Now, I could say this about Hideo Kojima: he wants to make movies.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, I will say what's not fair is I'm really going to disagree with you here. Most developers, at least as far as I'm concerned, most developers, the majority, really are kind of one note. They find their niche, they find their one note, and they play it, and then they keep playing it until they learn how to play it really, really well, and that's okay.
And before anyone
even
say
with
anything,
with Cliff saying that this Firewatch was too hipster for him, that's okay. Even if he's only a one note developer, that's maybe a useful insight into the community that is big on shit like Gears of War. It's the way for them to see how get a rough idea of how an entire community, or a subgenre or customer sect feels about their game. And maybe they look at that next time they make another game and say, if we want to broaden our base a little, what do we change to hit that market, or maybe grab a little bit of that market share? Maybe it needs to be a little less quote unquote hipster, and they might, have more interest in it. So, there's a note of usefulness to it there. I think it was poorly phrased. I think it could have, had a little more constructive criticism. But this is the problem when you're dealing in 140, character format of communication, because that's all that our attention span can fucking handle anymore.
Right.
So.
And like I was about to say, anyone who knows Platinum, all they make is action games. Like, they're known for that. Yeah. They're good at it, don't get me wrong, but at least Platinum did like Vanquish. Like, they tried a cover-based shooter, and it was really good. the story is cuckoo bananas, but it's Platinum. They always been cuckoo bananas. They love to make video games. They not trying to make anything like true story driven. They just want to make video games that it could be B-rated all you want to. I think with Cliff Bleszinski, I think what made people mad is that even though he called the game Firewatch hipster, he just said that, it's not for him, so he's not going to finish it. Nope. And I think that pretty much made people upset. Just be like, how could a game be hipster if it's just trying to tell a story? Like, there's more things about it. And it might not be your speed or anything, but what were you trying to get out of it? Were you trying to get action and fast-paced killing? Or, like, what were you trying to get out this game? You should have known and did your research what the game was about. You should have did that before you bought it. But you jumped ahead, got the game, and probably heard good things about it, and just be like, well, this is not good. It's too hipster for me, because I'm not a person that does camping or anything like that. Like, I would get Firewatch. And I have a PlayStation 4. I would get Firewatch because I believe Firewatch may offer something that I like. Definitely story. It may be the good music that's in the game. It may just be the artwork itself. There's a lot of stuff to get out of it, and I think personally for me with Cliffy B saying what he said, I think he's missing so much. Like, I don't feel like giving up on a game unless it's like really broken and you can't fix it. Like, even if I could find cheat codes, I would rather use the cheat codes so I could finish the game. So I could give it a fair review. Like I said with the Gears of War that I talked at the beginning, that I wouldn't give it a perfect 10. I gave it 3 Yoshi coins. It does some things good, and I played the game, yes, on casual, but I finished the game to see what it was about. And I gave it a fair shake. I didn't be like, this is boring, so I'm not going to play it because it's redundant.
Well, you know what? I have no qualms with giving up on a game. Frankly, if my general rule of thumb is if the game hasn't given me something to hook me in within the first hour to 2 hours, I'm okay with putting it down and not feeling fucking bad about it in the least.
Yeah.
Because at that point, if an hour to 2 hours is ample time to, for you to get your foot in the door and get my interest going. I shouldn't have to go 10 hours into a game for it to finally make me go, oh, I want to finish this now. No, I should at least be invested or interested enough within the first 2 hours tops in order to push forward on a game. Now, as far as what you were saying about, homeboy Bleszinski should have done his homework on what he bought and what he was getting into. You know what? At this point, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and I'll say props to him. Every once in a while, I'll look at something and go, you know what? This is not something I would normally play, but fuck it. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to take it home and I'm going to put it in my little game box there.
Right.
And, try something different that I don't normally get into just to see if, maybe something's got a neat hook to it that I might enjoy it. And, there's something to be said for reaching outside your box every once in a while. And maybe that was the case. He heard a lot of good things about it. Thought, looking at it, it's not my thing, but, maybe there's something there. A lot of people like it. Fuck it, I'll try it. It's outside my box. It's good to expand your horizons a little.
Yes.
And you know what? Credit to the guy for playing something that he wouldn't have normally otherwise played. Even if he doesn't finish it, you have no obligation to it. He just, said the honest thing. It's like, I played it some. I didn't like it. I'm not going to finish it because I didn't like it enough to finish it. Why the hell should I spend my time traipsing through a game to finish it if I didn't like it? For fuck's sake, my time is limited enough as it is. And, obviously even now more so, why am I going to spend my time playing a fucking game I don't like when I could take that precious little bit of time and play something that I do like?
Because they didn't check the reviews, Larry. They didn't see that the dollar amount to that game was worth it. If he would have known if he would have known Firewatch was a $5 game, he probably wouldn't have picked it up.
Well, and again, know your reviewer too. To Cliff, Firewatch is a 99-cent game.
Right.
To somebody else, that I'm sure that's a $60 game. They would have happily paid $60 for it and felt like they got their money's worth out of it. It just depends on who they were listening to.
Yeah, and I agree. I
But
agree. I agree
so
with
at this point, my end result, my end conclusion is, you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Props to him. He reached outside his box. He played something he wouldn't know otherwise. Good for you.
And I love when people have variety of genres in their video game library. Like, I don't really own that many sports games, or pretty much none at all. And I want to consider Mario Kart like racing because that's more arcadey. But I will play something like Madden and lose because my friends want to play and I want to experience that. I might prefer NFL Blitz or NBA Jam over it because it's a little. I believe those games are fun. But I'm like, if I had to go with like a real like sports game, I would rather just do the WWE games and have fun with that because I like wrestling games. I haven't got any of the recent ones, but I need to change that so I can have fun with them again.
I'm the same way. I'm not a big sports guy. I've got a couple of oddball sports-ish things on my shelf. I've always been a big fan of the SSX series. Snowboarding's a sport, sort of. Go with
yes.
it. I never got into basketball as a sport, period. But I'm actually not opposed to picking up the occasional round or two of fucking NBA Street. The
NBA
stuff
Street
like
was so
the
good.
EA Big series in general was great.
Oh, NBA Street was so good. I love that game.
Fuck yeah. And the sound, let's take a minute and just think back and marvel on the soundtrack for that game. Because I just turned that on and let it play. God, the soundtrack for NBA Street was awesome. Any version, pick them. I don't care.
I have to just listen to some of that on YouTube tonight because yes, such an awesome soundtrack. Yeah, but that's our individual thoughts. You guys could let us know what you think about the Washington Post story. Let us know what you think about Cliffy Beast or any of our opinions. You can email the show at world11podcast@gmail.com. That's WORLD11 at podcast@gmail.com.
You can email Eddie directly at chocolatethunder dot something or other. Go with it. Chocolate Thunder email address. I need you at Chocolate Thunder.
And no, you gonna make it for me too. Just be like, what? He's just like, Eddie, you need to check this out. Click chocolathethunder@gmail.com. I'm like, oh my goodness. Or as Adrian said, hot fudge. Hot fudge for the sweeties out there. Larry, where can we...
Don't forget Pimp It too. We just put up a Facebook page for the podcast as well. We'll be putting up the weekly offerings up on the Facebook page as well. If you want to, get out there and interact with other listeners, interact with us. Fuck's sake. If you're listening, tell us. I'm sure there's maybe 3 of you, but I would like to meet the 3 of you, please. So, look us up on Facebook, World 1-1 on Facebook. You'll find us there. Join up, hit us up. Let's get some conversation going. Let us know what you want to hear about on the show.
Yes.
That way too, we have an easy access. We can put up a post, say, "Hey, we're getting ready to record. We'd love some questions for tonight's show."
Yes, and we would love to hear from you guys and be able to respond. Because E3 is coming up in 2 more months, and we'll probably be making predictions. Who knows? That's the normal thing. But we may just do something different.
My prediction is there'll be video games.
My prediction.
If I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat.
My prediction is going to be a whole bunch of video game shredders, and then half of Sony's is going to be PlayStation VR. Unless Microsoft decides to do HoloLens, then we'll see how that goes.
My prediction is Sony goes back to old habits and starts traipsing out sales numbers as half of its E3 presentation again. Because that's what you want to see for 30 minutes, isn't it?
No, you want to see made up... You want to see made up letters to announce the next game.
That
2014 presentation was terrible. I might have to go research all the E3s and just laugh at them. Just be like, really? And how did that game turn out? Yeah. That'd be something to do. That'd be a fun project. Larry, where can we find you?
Facebook. That's about it. I'm out there. Larry Giver, Giver, Givers and give her a hard time. She doesn't spell it right. I'm out there on Facebook. Hit me up. Other than that, I would love to hear from you on the podcast Facebook page. Easiest way to get in touch with me is there. So, reach out, join up. Shoot us some feedback. Let us know what you want to hear, what you like, what you don't like. Also, I'm hoping I'm not speaking preemptively, but shout out to the band Orgy, by the way, in the works, trying to get some permissions and blessings worked, where we're looking to pimp some of their music at the front end of our show. Been talking to them; they've been absolutely fucking super cool, and I'm hoping this runs smoothly, and we then have permission to put some awesome tunes in your ear holes at the beginning of the show, and working on that. But again, shout out to them for being way fucking super cool. They've got a new album out, Toxic. Go check it out. They're phenomenal. New album is great, and they are touring again. Go check out their page and see if they're coming somewhere to you, because they do a fucking great show.
Yes, check them out. I heard the demo that you made, and I'm just like, oh, this is so good, so fitting. So great job, Larry.
The whole rest of the album is awesome, and there's more new stuff coming, so keep your ears peeled.
Yes. So shout out to Orgy. You can find me on Twitter at ThatRetrocode, ThatRetrocode. I also do another podcast called Optional Opinion, where you can find also this podcast on SoundCloud. And I do another one called The Deluded Geeks. We just did a recording for the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane. So that will be out hopefully soon, in a couple of weeks. So you guys can check that out at the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com. You can find me on Facebook under Edward Varnell, EDWARD, V as in Victor, ARNELL. And like I said, hit us up on World 101 Podcast. Check out Orgy. Check them. I believe they have a Facebook page also, right?
Yes. Search for Orgy Music.
Orgy Music. Okay. And that's that's ORGY.
Yep. That band from like 10 years ago that had the awesome cover of Blue Monday, that's them. They've got new shit out, and it's awesome.
Yes. And also Adrian Nieto, you guys could check him out at The Frozen Machine. Hit him up also on Twitter at The Frozen Machine. He's been working on his game, Tuna Cycle, so cannot wait to get our hands on that. And you can check previous podcasts to get more information about that. So with that, we are out. Everybody have a great week. Have a great weekend. Hopefully everybody is, gaming, and I definitely will be picking up Star Fox Zero this Friday. Cannot wait. Or by the time you listen to this, I will already have Star Fox Zero. Because I just got Bravely Default and Quantum Break, so I cannot wait to get into those games too.
You need some Fox McCloud?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Did you see that fucking ad? Have you seen that ad? Oh, my. Look it up.
Okay, I have to go look at it.
It's on Nintendo's Facebook page, and it's ridiculous.
I miss Star Fox. I cannot wait. I want to take time learning the control, and I want to be horrible at it because I want to get better. And I just cannot wait for the game. I'm not even worried about the reviews for it. I just cannot wait to have this game in my hands. On top of I have to finish Uncharted 3, so I can get ready for Uncharted 4. Oh, man. And
at this point, can we stop calling that series Uncharted? We've done 3 of them. I think we've charted it pretty well.
Yeah. This is supposed to be the last one, so get your...
I call bullshit.
get your alcohol ready and see how many side camera angles Nathan Drake's gonna be hanging from.
Oh well. All right, we've trudged this on long enough. Let's give the three people, and I'm sure we're down to two now, that are still listening, a break, and we'll catch up with them next week.
Yes, everybody have a great weekend, and we are out. Bye.
Good night, boys and girls.